Good evening. Welcome to We're Not Really Here, full-time at the Etihad. Manchester City 5, Newcastle 0. So close on the predictions from my guests today, Joleon Lescott and Kyle Walker. So close. One out, Kyle.
Look at his face. Look at him.
So close, but yet so far.
I said 4, and I thought... I was so confident that I actually sent the group chat a message to say, clip that up, let's show it, just so I can rub it in Joleon's face. And then, then Sterling...
Nope. Raheem knows. He knows that. Had to shout down there and say, come on, Raz, do something for me.
So, yeah, I'm not going to complain too much. I mean, 5-0 here at the Etihad. It shows, again, just how dominant Manchester City can be. And what a performance. We've seen Phil Foden there. Didn't get that goal.
He's human after all. It's... Welcome to real football, Phil. You know what I mean? Is he going to make it? I'm going to have a question him and say, how far is he going to go?
It was a very comprehensive win in the end there, as we saw, another 3 goals in the second half. You must have enjoyed what you saw, Joleon, across the board.
Yeah, definitely. Again, it just doesn't surprise us now. It only kind of surprises when they do that to top teams. They can do that. And let's give a little bit of credit to Newcastle in the aspect of they didn't just come here not to lose. They tried to have a go. It wasn't going to be the day for them. Well, when City are in that form and it all clicks, there's multiple of opportunities, multiple goal scorers. Like Carl said at half-time, that stat in regards to 5 players scoring over 10 goals, and now Razi's kind of singled out as the top goal scorer. So the fact that City have capability of multiple players scoring at any given time is just a threat. And we witnessed... could be the last ever David Silva goal, which is a moment we can tell our grandkids about.
Yeah, I mean, what a performance from him. We've talked about him so much. We've bigged him up before. We've waxed lyrical about him so many times. And again, he just continues to show the world how good he is. And I feel like more and more Manchester City fans, according to my social media, are saying that he is the greatest player to ever wear the Manchester City shirt. And when you put in performances like that, when he's coming to his end of his time at Manchester City, I can see why fans are saying that, Joleon.
Oh, 100%. Again, he will always be in the conversation. If it's the greatest, it's for people to decide. But what a quality goal. You know what I mean? Like, I'm surprised he can actually reach the goal from that far out. David Silva doesn't kick the ball that hard. He just strokes it, as you've seen for Razi's kind of assist. He's just beautiful to watch. His technique, his kind of movement on the ball. Obviously, he got tackled a few times there and fouled multiple times as well. So players do get close to him. Players can get close to him, but obviously he still kind of impacts the game in such a beautiful way.
We saw at the end that he wasn't happy about something, a tackle that had been put on him, and actually... even though we've won 5-0, he's still talking to the referees, he's still saying, he's still expressing, he's still showing the passion that he's got for the game, that he's not happy about some of the decisions that didn't go his way.
Yeah, that's the thing. Don't underestimate that about David, is that he's very kind of ambitious and determined, and that doesn't surprise me, that element to it. He kind of wants maximum effort from everyone, whether that be officials. He wants the right decisions to go the right way, and if he's complaining about something, he's that honest that I believe what he's saying is the truth. I think he had his shin pad out to showcase what had happened, so we won't go into kind of how dirty the tackle was. I don't think it's that kind of event to do that, so let's just talk about how good he was on the ball.
I mean, he is for me the best player I've seen in the City shirt, and actually there's a fact here. So that's his 150th goal involvement for Manchester City. 59 goals, 91 assists, and actually it felt like he could have had a couple more tonight. With those sort of stats, and then when you reflect on the great players that we have had during your time and before that, I think he has got to be up there as someone that has been so fundamental to the rise of City, and that he is going to be steeped in our history books for a long time to come.
Oh, definitely. That's already kind of said and done. He's going to be in the history of Man City forever and a day kind of thing. But in regards to his goal contribution, whether it's goals or assists, it's ridiculous. The level of consistency, I think that's what separates him from the other greats. Obviously, the earlier years I wasn't kind of privy to seeing, but in regards to the time he's spent here and the level of consistency he's shown, the fact that he's played more games than anyone since he's been at the club, showcases kind of how resilient he is for such a small frame. You could just talk about him all day in the greatest of aspects of the game. So I'll continue to do that for as long as he's here and beyond. He's just a great talent and a servant for the club.
So let's look then at the second half. It began with a couple changes where we saw Rodri and Cancelo subbed. We saw Gundogan come on. And do you think there was some tactical in that, or do you think it was maybe fatigue?
Maybe tactical in the Rodri one. The dominant performance, and Gundogan is probably more controlling of the tempo and has a bigger range of passing than Rodri. But I do think the Cancelo one may be down to some form. There was frustration from Pep in the first half, and we could actually see that and visibly see that and hear it, And you could see the impact from Kyle Walker straight away, determination to get up and down the flank. So I'm guessing that's what Pep had asked of Cancelo in the first half. He didn't deliver it, so we'll bring on Kyle Walker to do the same.
That's what I was going to come on to, was Kyle Walker's impact. And actually, when he is able to run so quickly, so powerfully up and down that right wing, it adds so much to this team, because you've got the wingers that are already doing that, but also when you've got someone on the overlap, you can play it, and someone that can play balls into the box like Kyle Walker, it's just another added element to that attack.
Yeah, definitely. I think City was so dominant. Like, the wingers are just in wide areas. They don't have to kind of retreat to the halfway line and track runners going forward for Newcastle. But Kyle Walker brings an energy. So when players are actually, when he's overlapping the wide players, it's so hard to track, because the pace he's travelling at, you can't kind of match him for one, and then you can't pass him on because the person's going to be at a standing start and you're going to ask to catch Kyle Walker. So the kind of difficulty of that, and that's one of the things that Pep has obviously recognised and looked to change at half-time, and it's worked out beautifully.
We can now hear the thoughts of Riyad Mahrez. Here he is speaking after the game.
Riyad, that was easy, huh? That was a nice game.
No, it's not easy, but we make it easy by scoring early in the game. Then after we have more control, and then we can try to score more goals.
Yeah, a lot of nice flow, like movement. Everybody playing together. Teams working well.
Yeah, that's what we try to do every game.
Yeah. Why does it happen so much better here than away?
What's against Southampton?
Well, the last 3 games away.
Well, I think we played good, but we didn't have a chance. And luck in Southampton, we missed a lot of chances. Today we score. So that's the difference.
Yeah, and everybody wants to score. Everybody is scoring.
That's our team. Everyone can score, so everyone have a quality to score. So
double figures for you this season now, I think, for goals.
Yeah.
Is there a competition?
No, but obviously I want to try to help the team and try to score the most goal as I can.
And you need to keep this performance going maybe for quite a few more weeks now, because
of course,
maybe Premier League, but not so much, but FA Cup and Champions League.
You need to keep it up and keep working and keep trying to help the team to improve, and then so you arrive in the best form in an important game for us.
Yeah. Everybody wants to impress the manager, stay in the team.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
I will just say, right, I've been in that reporter's shoes before, where a player just isn't giving you anything back.
Name the player.
You're asking all the questions.
Name the player.
I'm not going to say it. But you're asking them the questions, and they're just giving you nothing back. And it's always he's just won 5-0. He's teasing us there. Give us something, please.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, but I've been in the player shoes when you're making statements, like you say, how you're making statements, and I only can agree with you. Like, everyone could score. Yeah, we could all score, and especially the goals.
Double figures for you, Riyad. Yeah, yeah, it is.
It is.
Yeah,
everyone's playing really well together. Yeah, they are. Yeah.
Let's talk
entertaining.
Yeah, let's talk a bit about Riyad Mahrez, because yes, that statement is true. He is into double figures, and one of 5 Manchester City players that have managed to do that. But this season, I feel personally that Riyad Mahrez has really stepped up. He's shown us what he can do. I'm not sure if he hit the levels of when he won the Premier League with Leicester, but now he has done that. Last season, I wouldn't say he would have, but he's hit that now. He showed us.
I think the first part of last season, there was question marks. There could have been, because he was coming off the back of such a successful season for him individually and collectively as a team. But the second part of last season, I think he had a lot of impact. He scored a lot of important goals, even the goal at Brighton where he's kind of shifted it onto his right foot and obviously scored the goal that kind of led to City winning the league. But this season, without doubt, he's been as consistent as anyone. His contribution in regards to goals is key. Today probably wasn't his most effective game in possession, but he's affecting the game, and that's kind of the beauty of him, Raheem, they don't have to play that well, but they will score goals and impact the game.
He also has that thing of where he puts fear into whichever fullback because his feet are that quick. I mean, they are dynamite up close, Mahrez's feet. That you just fancy him one-on-one against anyone, really, don't you?
That's the thing. Is the fear factor is what you're talking about. Yeah, you kind of have to so respectful for his ability, because his ability is not just a great touch and can go past you. He's so reactive. So when you do go attempt to tackle him, he can just move the ball, and at sort of pace you don't recover. And you've even seen his strength. There was a time when Yedlin tried to kind of shove him off the ball, and he's quite a wiry frame, but you kind of have to respect all his attributes, because he's strong, he's quick, he's agile, he's got it all if he wants to kind of go on to the next tier.
Now, I am full of lots of stats, as always, post-game. And one for you. Thank you, Opta Joe, for providing this one. Manchester City completed 93.7% of their passes against Newcastle. That's 787 out of a possible 840. The highest recorded figure in a Premier League game since full passing data was available in 2003, 2004. We've talked about Manchester City, their passing. We know what they can do. But every single time, as you said before, we see it. It's just beautiful to watch. And that is the result of when it goes right, 5-0.
Oh, definitely. And the fact that that stat is real, and we never noticed that during the game. You wasn't thinking, oh, they're overplaying. They're just probing. It's just this, if we can't get in here, we'll go back to Edison if they need to. Regroup, Newcastle push up, now we'll go again. And that's the thing. It's like an algorithm. It's like, well, we can't get in this way. We'll go back to restart the programme, and we'll go again. And that's the beauty of what Pep's created here.
There was a great little moment that we were speaking about, was when Raheem Sterling came on. It seemed like he'd go into that striker role. Do you think then that's something that he's trying out then? Because obviously without Aguero and Jesus is there, do you think that's something he's looking at, maybe just trying and seeing if it works?
Yeah, definitely. I think there's always going to be options for players to play in different positions, but Raheem is proven he can play as a number 9. Like the number 9s that we've come accustomed to in the past in terms of Premier League, hold up the ball, and that doesn't need to happen for City. You need to kind of make runs off the ball and create space for other people in possession, and obviously have the composure that Raheem's got in front of goal. I think the fact that now he's our top goal scorer, and I didn't think there'd be a time where someone would score more than Sergio Aguero whilst he's at the club. I know he's been injured in that aspect, but it's just a credit to him, and that's 24 goals this season. And he's gone through a barren spell. There was a spell just after Christmas. He didn't score. I don't think he scored before Christmas to the lockdown.
He hasn't scored at the Etihad from October the 26th it was, and then all the way through, and he's still managing to get these numbers that we're seeing here. It just shows the start of the season that he's had, but also when he is in form and he manages to get it back, he can provide all those goals.
100%, and that's the fact he didn't even start today. You know what I mean? He's scoring goals. So Raheem has took himself and his levels to the top tier now. He has to be regarded as one of the top wide men forward players in the game, because he contributes, because he has the ability to play well and win man of the match and not score, but on the other occasions he can just score and just impact the game that way.
Why isn't he then? Because I completely agree with you, but why do other fans watch him and say, oh, he doesn't put his chances away? Manchester City fans get frustrated at him. He clearly does. He clearly comes on and has an impact.
I don't think Man City fans get frustrated with him anymore. I think there was a spell when he was missing opportunities that he should be scoring a man of his quality, and I think he's learned how to do that now. I'd settle himself in front of goal, so I think he's learned that. But in regards to the outside world looking in, I think you have to be pretty naive not to respect what he's doing. Yeah, there are players like Messi, Ronaldo that are scoring 50 goals a season, but and they're super freaks.
And Phil Foden.
Yeah, Phil Foden's up there. Phil Foden, man like Phil. But in terms of the next tier, Neymar's. If Neymar was doing the numbers that Raheem's doing, he would be that guy.
End of it.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So Raheem has to be compared to them kind of players.
I think also that's kind of you've seen, which is a great strength in Raheem's character, is that if you remember all through the summer as well and through the couple of seasons under Pep, can't finish, can't put the ball in the back of the net. And then he's come this season and just continues to prove people wrong. The only thing I think of me, and who am I to say I'm aware of this, is that thing I said before is because you know where he's at now, I think to go to that elite level is just those final little moments where he can, either do the pass or then put it in the back of the net.
And I think you're right. But if he could do them, he would be Messi or Ronaldo. Yeah. And there's only 2 people that are doing that. It's not like there's 7 other players doing that and Raheem's not. There's only them 2 doing them and making the right decisions every time and scoring the amount of goals they're scoring.
We touched upon another player, the guy that he came on and replaced, Gabriel Jesus, who of course got 2 goals and was great to see. But there was a moment when we were watching the game, Joleon, where just before that second goal, you wanted to see him take that strike a little bit earlier. And do you think that's what we were talking about before the game, is just that kind of number 9 mentality of going, put the ball in the back of the net?
I think that occasion there when it led to the own goal, I think he wants to score the best looking goal where Sergio's got the knack of just shoot on sight. And I think, again, that's just a little bit of inexperience in terms of, and what he's used to. Like, Jesus is used to having the perfect picture and seeing all that, having played for Man City and knowing what that looks like. Where I think he'll just develop a knack of just saying, no, I'll shoot. Because there was a period when he spent some time on the wing and I'm like, no, you've got your goal, which is great. We all want you to score, but now we want you to go and get a hat-trick and just be ruthless and stay in the middle of the box and allow the wide players, the midfielders, to do what they in the team to do, and you do what you do.
And as we saw for Gabriel Jesus' goal with Phil Foden, Kevin De Bruyne, all of them linking up, it makes Gabriel Jesus' job a bit easier when you've got players of that calibre putting the perfectly weighted balls in, but then also being able to get assists for you and put it on a plate right in front of the goal.
That's the thing, and I just think it's a timing of an understanding and experience that's going to come to know that I don't need to do all that stuff. I like to do it, and we all like to see when it's going well, but sometimes we just want you to be the goal scorer. You're the number 9 for Man City and Brazil, you know what I mean? Them shirts are pretty important shirts and pretty important numbers. Just be that guy and just go and get 30 goals and not have us talk about how well you've played, just that you've scored a hat-trick or you've scored 4 goals.
So let's look then to the other side of the pitch. John Stones, we spoke a bit about him at half-time. We also spoke a lot about him at full-time. What did you make of his performance?
Very accomplished, and being a centre-half and a defender, your best performance is obviously around clean sheets. But when you're not being spoken about, I know that there was we had the kind of segment before the game due to him not playing, but we kind of forgot. We kind of forgot. So that's the sign of a good performance as a defender. I don't want to be recognised for doing anything I shouldn't be doing, making any mistakes. And he's never going to be in the team to create goals because the lads in front of him do that. So if he can have performances like that, and that will give him the world of confidence. He's had to defend at times. He's had to go and win some headers and contribute in aspects. But in regards to just getting through the 90 minutes and just being steady, that's massive for him.
Now, another player that's going to have, I'm guessing, the world of confidence after making his Premier League debut today was Tommy Doyle, and we can hear all of his thoughts after tonight's game.
Tommy, first Premier League appearance, how does that feel?
No, it's very good. Obviously, I've been working hard in training and, listening to every bit of information that I get from the staff, the manager and the players. And, today, thankfully, I've got a chance to go out on the pitch and play a part.
It's the culmination of a lifetime's hard work for you, I suppose, isn't it? I mean, you must have felt so proud when you came on there.
Yeah, no, of course. I've obviously been here a long time, and the goal from a young kid is always to play in the Premier League for Man City. So to do it today is a massive occasion for me, and I'm really happy.
Plenty of inspiration around you. First one is your mate Phil Foden. I mean, he's playing superb football at the moment, is he? When you watch him playing the way he is, it must give you a sense of optimism that you can do the same thing.
Yeah, no, of course. I mean, me and Phil have a good relationship, and he tells me a lot of important information, because he's been around the first team for a long time, and obviously now you see his hard work's paying off. So it shows that when you do work hard and you listen and you take in all the information, the performances on the pitch come together, and that's what Phil's doing now. So I'll continue to ask him questions, and then hopefully when I get more chances on the pitch, I can emulate the performances that not only him but the team are making.
another source of inspiration must be David Silva. I mean, he's been here 10 years. He's probably the greatest player we've ever seen, and at 34 he's still man of the match like he was tonight. I mean, what can you say about playing and training with a player like that?
It's difficult to put David, not only as a player, as a person, into words. You know, he's such a good person as well as a player. You know, especially with the young kids, he's fantastic. You know, because at the end of the day, I've grown up watching him from being this big. You know, so being able to play on the pitch with him now is massive for me. And I think the good thing is David recognises that. You know, he understands what it's like for me as a City fan to play for the club, and you know, he helps us all so much. Not only me, but even the other players on the team. That's why, you know, he's such a good captain.
Finally, from me, we get to Brighton at the weekend. Do you want to be involved there as well?
Oh, of course, yeah. I want to be involved every game, which is, you know, like I said, continuing to work hard on the training pitch, trying to be the best every day, and learning from the world-class players that I'm fortunate enough to play with.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Cheers, Tommy. Good luck, mate.
Thank you.
That was Tommy Doyle there speaking after the game. Of course, tonight you saw him make his Premier League debut. I mean, for me, that was a very kind of assured and mature interview, and he spoke very, very well. I mean, it's good to see and hear, isn't it?
It's nice just to hear a Mancunian voice as well, a proper Manc right there, and he's representing this club. We know his family ties to the club with his granddads as well, Mike Doyle and also Glyn Pardo, and it's just incredible to see him come on in his Premier League debut. He must be full of joy. The family must be full of joy as well, and I can only see it getting bigger and better for him, Joleon.
Yeah, definitely, as you said, very mature interview there, kind of ooze experience, even though that is his debut, just natural in front of the camera and on the field. We know kind of how hard he's worked to get to this stage now, and the key for him is, as he said, is to learn from all the players and the staff around him, to just absorb information, and when he gets his opportunities, to kind of just grasp them with both hands, because they're going to be there. They're going to be opportunities for him to play, but the key for us and everyone to recognise it, he's not Phil Foden. He's not the same position. It's different. So when we see him, we can't expect him to be contributing the goals, and just give him time to get into the team. And again, he's in a position that you may not notice, but as a teammate, if he's not noticed and he's doing his job, they're the best performances for him.
Now, I'm constantly getting into these disagreements and arguments and heated discussions about Manchester City's youngsters and actually why being here at the club is the best place for them. You've got the best players in the world, you've got the best facilities in the world, you've got the best coaching staff and managers in the world as well. And I think that being here, getting that experience is much better than going out to a smaller club and getting that game time, because he's coming on in the Premier League, arguably the greatest league in the world as well. I just feel like actually fighting your way into this team and being able to do it and getting more game time is much more valuable for them.
Yeah, different circumstances for every young player. There's no set way to make it. If you look at most of our current first team starters, how many of them were at a club like Man City when they were 21? I don't think there's any. We've seen Kevin De Bruyne had to go to Germany from Chelsea. David Silva went on loan. I think Raheem was probably the only one that was representing Liverpool at a young age. But you just don't go into a team like Man City. So what these players are achieving is huge. We have to respect that, but we also have to know and understand that City are buying and in the market for the top 3 to 5 best players in the world in every position. So we can't expect our academy players to come straight out of the academy and be that level straight away. Obviously, you're going to get kind of the Phil Fodens that come in and can kind of match that, but not every academy graduate is going to have that capability.
It does really feel, though, now, and particularly we absorb so much of City, but over these last 5 years that we are going to start to really reap the benefits of, you know, our academy and the young players. Like you say, the pool of talent that we have, but now we're starting to see the proof in the pudding in Tommy Doyle, in Phil Foden, in Taylor Harwood-Bellis, Eric Garcia. It does feel like there's players now that pathway is now clear, where maybe people could make the argument 5 years ago that pathway wasn't clear. And actually, there's a lot of players coming through there now. Yeah,
I think the pathway is always going to be clear in your eyes. As I said, it's not a straight pathway. It doesn't go from under 9s to the first team. What Phil has done and what Tommy's doing is great, because they are City fans, so you can relate to them, and they're just one of millions of fans that have been lucky enough to represent Man City. But not other players that we've got on loan that could come back and represent Man City that haven't had that pathway, but could easily have a massive impact on the club's history.
I'm still waiting for that call up. So Pep, whenever you're ready, mate, I'll just 1 minute, just at the end of a game, 5-0 up, throw me on. I'll run around. I'll make it
6-5. No, Kyle.
Oh, right, yeah. We've played together, so I can't even disagree with you. Anyway, right, let's have a look at the socials. Everyone using the hashtag WNRH, keep on using it. The first one we've got is at Man City, WNRH. No need to say who is the happier here. And that's from at my Ickle Boy Blue. And we've got a picture right there of a son, and I'm guessing his dad.
Oh.
The son's in a City kit, the dad's in a Newcastle kit. So, yeah, the son's definitely happy. That's bragging rights right there. To beat your dad's team 5-0.
Standard.
Interested to know how that's happened, though. The dad's a Newcastle fan, you've ended up a City fan.
Yeah, that is a weird... Unless someone is from Newcastle, because my oldest is City and my youngest is Wolves. So,
Oh, wow. Really?
Yeah, so we went to the Wolves game around Christmas. And when we went up, like my oldest, I don't get involved when it's them two. I don't get involved because, you know what I mean? It's serious.
Yeah.
So when... they went off, my oldest was just sitting there gritted at that. When Wolves went, when we got a man set off, was it? A man set off, and then Wolves went into the lead.
Yeah.
That was it. He took his coat off. And we're sitting like with the directors, and I'm like, put your coat on. Because he's got his Wolves shirt on. He's bought a hat. He's like, we're walking back to the car. We just got his T-shirt on. I'm like, mate, it's freezing. It's December. It's December. Put your damn coat on.
Oh, another young football fan is definitely happy here. We've got Helen Evans, and she's tweeted to say, super happy that at Tommy Doyle came on, her fave player after being his mascot last year, and that's incredible to see. We can see how happy the daughter is right there. And we've got one from, do you know what? I'm going to say this, and I'm going to get his name wrong. After Natalie got his name right the other night, and he actually tweeted her to say that he got it right, I'm probably going to butcher this. So, Akio Fernandez has said, just want to Photoshop my face onto Gundo's because I don't want to let David go. And it's a picture. It's got Gundogan hugging David Silva after his goal. And I can definitely agree. I don't want to see David Silva go, so I'd give him a big hug. I still want to be his mascot as well. I'd love to do that. I'm 6'3", but he'll let me walk out of him, right?
I hope not. Look a bit weird, that.
The pitch somehow. If I'm not going to get played, I just want to go out there as a mascot.
It's always one of them. But I remember seeing the City team in Manchester Piccadilly. You know, when they're getting on the train, and I'm never one to do this. Do you know what I mean? But I remember seeing David. And it took everything in me not to go over because that is just, like you say, he's just the one that you just...
You crazy? Because he's one of the guys that you can probably approach and you get what you want. You could probably ask David for his watch or some money you give it. You know what I mean?
You'd say that, but he tweets you. So, yeah, you've got a friendship with him.
But yeah, David, yeah. What a guy like. And I've got friends that are like that support other teams. And when they've seen him, we've been out and they've sitting there like, nah, I need a picture with David. Ask David for a picture. I'm like... Yeah, but they're like, nah, quick. I need a picture. I'm like, okay, man, he's all right, you know what I mean? He's not going anywhere.
Even if it's just more just to say thank you. That's it. I just want to go, David, for the last 10 years, just thank you. And if anything you need in Manchester... I could try.
I think he's good in Manchester.
Yeah, but he's all right.
He's all right.
Never has to buy a pint anywhere. We are going to hopefully hear from Pep before the end of the show, but don't think we forgot about your little challenge, Joleon, that has been ticking away.
I've got a thing about this, all right, because he's cheated, all right?
Whoa.
It's not his fault, okay? I'm not going to blame him. It's not his fault. Somebody sent the picture of the top 10 defenders who have scored in the Premier League to him, so he's already seen it.
Wait. Define cheat. Because cheat would be coming in here, not telling you, and then giving you the name. I told you I got the picture. So I'm not cheat.
All right.
I'm honest.
Straight on it.
I'm honest.
All right,
I'm an honest guy.
I'll let you off. But
there was 3 when we were talking about it that you got before you'd seen any picture.
Yeah, so I got. There was only when I seen the name. I got.
We were looking for
Watson.
Played for Newcastle, Aston Villa, Everton, West Brom. Steve Watson.
Yeah, and then there was 2 more.
Okay, so Chelsea, Arsenal, Tottenham, we got him, I think, didn't we?
Yeah, you did get him.
Yeah, that was Gallas.
Yeah, and then you've got Liverpool and West Ham.
That was one that had me racking my brain, and then we got to Julian Dix.
Yeah, all right, and then played for Everton, Man City, West Brom, Aston Villa. You. That's you,
Yeah,
Joleon.
I was thinking, who's that?
That's what I was thinking. Then I was
I didn't
like,
say Wolves, mate.
sounds familiar.
That's not on there, though.
Without, to be fair, because it wasn't in the Prem.
Sheffield Wednesday, Chelsea, Bradford, and Southampton. The 10th player, 23 goals.
This is the one I wouldn't have got. It was Dan Petrescu. I wouldn't have got that. I didn't even know he'd represented some of them clubs. So there.
Did you then? When you played for Wolves, did you score any goals?
Yeah, I scored a few goals, but there was a championship.
I know that's what I'm saying. If they had been in the Premier League, how many? Can you remember how many you scored roughly?
17.
Wow.
Yeah.
13, yeah. I think I've scored like 40-something goals, 39, 40 goals in my career. Yeah.
Wow. Oh,
yeah.
Let's go scoring defender. Let's go scoring defender.
Put some respect on my name, Kyle.
Wow, I'm surprised. I've played, like I said, I've played alongside you. I didn't know you had it in you. Yeah.
I know you ain't got it in you.
Right, anyway, let's just a quick reminder. At full time, it's 5-0 Manchester City against Newcastle. But after midnight this evening, you will be able to watch the game in full on City Plus. So make sure you do watch that, because it was a masterclass, I'd say, from Manchester City.
Yeah, even if it's just to appreciate the passing that has set that unbelievable record. And
Yeah.
nice, because there was something earlier on in the season where I think Liverpool tried to claim that they'd done the most passes in a game or whatever. But as you can see, the champions always show the class when it does come to it. Let's look ahead to the weekend. Then, of course, we've got Brighton coming up. Do you think we'll see some squad rotation, or do you just try and keep more or less the same personnel to keep the
Predict the
momentum?
team, Joleon. Come on, predict the team.
What is the same team? I think the
that's
squad
true.
rotation every week, every game. I get, as I said earlier, Pep picks a team that he believes will win that game, not that he's preparing for any other game. He's picking a team to beat Brighton come the weekend. So there will be. I'll be surprised if it's the same starting 11 as today. Again, there'll be various reasons for why he changes and rotates. Will Jones Stones play 2 games in a week, having not played for so long? We don't know. So it's going to be one of them games that if City are on it, it's going to be very difficult for Brighton. And Brighton like to play. And again, that could play into City's hands, trying to be expansive in their own half. They've got caught out early in the season. So hopefully that's the case, and then City just capitalise on any mistakes.
That's a tough one for them, because they've got Liverpool this evening as well. Then they've got to play us.
But they're safe, though, aren't they? They're safe again, and again that could play into the hands of Man City. The fact that you the shackles are off, you're just trying to kind of improve for next season and kind of set new methods and philosophies. But again, it can play into the hands of the top teams.
I guess as well, Man City have still got so much to play for with the FA Cup and the Champions League. Whether he rotates it or not, he's about building that momentum and carrying it on in towards the end of the season for City.
Yeah, definitely. I think you can look at the weekend's fixture and lineup to what the Arsenal game may look like. I think he may kind of play that team then to kind of rest some faces come midweek against Bournemouth to then play the lads who he thinks will beat Arsenal in regards to the semi-final.
Interesting stuff. Well, hopefully we will get a little glimpse into see how we are going to prepare for Arsenal. That is it for tonight's show, and we will be back, of course. We're not really here, as we are every single game. We'll be live an hour before kick-off. We'll be with you at half-time and at full-time come the Brighton game at the weekend. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for joining us. Kyle, thank you. Joleon, thank you. See you all soon. Enjoy the rest of your evening.